Should you continue paying your student loans, or should you look for other alternatives to park your money? Do you know if anything under the CARES Act that was just recently passed applies to you, or whether or not you qualify? Well, if you don't, stay tuned, because this video's topic is covering what you should do about student loans and what's going to happen in the next couple months. Now, if you guys are new to this channel, my name is Jared, and I post helpful biz tips and tricks every Friday on helping you gain financial freedom through personal finance, real estate, and stock market investments. If you want to stay up to date with this channel and these videos that roll out every Friday, be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you can stay tuned and learn what's going on in the world today. Well, it's that time again, and your student loans are probably due. You've been paying this off for years, and if you're new to paying on student loans, well then welcome to the club of yearly payments. And depending on your balance, it's going to take a nice chunk of interest and pay back a little bit of principal to hopefully one day pay off the entire student loan amount. But this month is a little bit different though, because the CARES Act was passed on March 27th, and boy does this change things for you. During this national emergency to provide relief to student loan payers, the government has placed these accounts on administrative forbearance effective March 13th, which means you can temporarily stop making your payments to your student loans. Now, suspension of payments will last up until September 30th, 2020, which basically means that you can stop paying on your student loans, or if you choose to, you can continue paying as nothing happened in the first place. Now, during this time, the interest rate is being taken down to 0, which means that you will accrue no interest effective March 13th through September 30th. Even if your student loans are in default, you will not accrue interest. During this time, collection activities are paused as well, so you should stop receiving calls or letters about any kind of collections from a private company for federal student loans. Student loan payers who are past more than 31 days of having their loans late are also placed automatically in forbearance. The government is also suspending Treasury offsets for 60 days, which is or could be a combination of withholding your pay, your Social Security, or your tax refund. Now, if you're currently in a rehabilitation program to get your student loans out of default, which means that you have to make 9 on-time payments out of 10 consecutive months, your payment arrangement does not stop. Even if you don't make payments for the next 6 months during this time, they will still count for your rehabilitation program timeline, which helps you positively. Now, if you do qualify, everything is already automatic, which means you don't have to do anything. Now, if you're not sure if you do qualify, you need to contact your loan servicer immediately. You can contact your student loan servicer, or you can contact studentaid.gov, which will also give you different details and information which will help you figure out your situation and whether or not you qualify. Now, an important thing to note is that private loans are not covered under the CARES Act, only federal loans. So make sure that you figure out whether or not you qualify and whether or not your student loans are federal. If you indeed have a private loan, even though this doesn't apply for you, if you're having hardship, make sure you contact your service provider immediately. The sooner the better, so you can get different help and opportunities in being able to keep your account current and in good standing. Now, some of the questions that you can ask or bring up to your private student loan servicer is pausing or reducing your payments or waiving late fees. The sooner you call, the better. Remember, be proactive, not reactive. Now, during this time, if you make any payments to your student loans, 100% of these payments will go to your principal, which is great. However, if you already had interest accrue prior to March 13th that is already on your account, remember, you are still on the hook for any interest that has been built before that time. If you are on auto pay and your payment has been suspended, then you should not be charged for any of the months all the way up until September 30th. However, if you are charged anytime prior to March 13th, you can contact your student loan servicer and ask for a refund if you need that money back. Now, if you don't want administrative forbearance placed on your account, you must contact your student loan servicer. This is not something that's automatic. You must call them to make sure that you are not flagged on administrative forbearance and tell them you want to continue paying as normal. You also have the option to just keep the administrative forbearance anyway, way and just make manual payments. Now that you have all of this information at your disposal, the question still remains, should you continue paying your student loans or should you put that money somewhere else during this time? Now, if your income is unaffected during this time of the pandemic, then consider making your normal payments. However, just keep in mind, since the student loan payments have been suspended, you will probably not see it come out of your account if you're used to getting things done through auto pay from your student loan servicer. So you'll have to go in and make a manual payment or request that administrative forbearance is taken off of your account. This could help you get ahead of the curve and pay down your student loan faster. And still, even during this time, since you're used to paying interest and principal, and only now you will owe on the principal, consider even doubling up on your payments to even shorten the amount of time you'll be paying your student loans. This could greatly help you in the future and help you get financially free that much quicker. Now, if you do decide to take a break from paying your student loan, which is not a bad thing, but just consider these options before you go out and spend money. If you don't already have a 3 to 6 month emergency fund, make sure to have an emergency fund. In case your car breaks down or unexpected finances occur, you want to be able to have an account where you still have money to be able to shield you from any damage that was done and have some payments that you can still make to keep you afloat. And as this may sound surprising to you, there is still a good chunk of Americans that do not have an emergency fund. Bankrate did a study in June 2019 and showed that 28% of Americans do not have an emergency fund, and even less than that do have emergency funds don't have enough to cover a $1,000 payment. Now, if you're having trouble starting this fund, take your tax refund from this season. Don't spend the money. Use it to kickstart your emergency fund by putting this money in an online savings account and having it build some high yield interest while you get the rest of the money ready for you in your emergency fund. But at least you can use this money to start off. Now, another good reason to stop paying your student loans during this time is if you realize that you are living paycheck to paycheck and you don't have any extra money left over after you pay all your bills. Force yourself to save by setting up automatic recurring deposits, and since you're normally used to paying your student loans, you can at least take out a minimum of $25 that you would be paying from that loan each month and put that into a separate account. By the end of the year, you'd have about $300 if you save this $25 up for the next 12 months. You can save this money up and invest in yourself, because remember that you are the best investments. Invest in courses, training, degrees, or anything to help you get the edge on a competitive market space. Another thing that you can do with a portion of the student loan money that you're no longer paying for right now is that you can take some of this money and learn to invest by investing and starting a bulletproof portfolio. This is a great time to start investing because prices have significantly dropped as of February 2nd of this year, and there are different things that have hit all-time lows, and they're great blue chip stocks to pick up during this time. Now, another reason you want to start learning how to invest is because you can have your money start working for you. This is a great way to accumulate wealth over time. If you're not retiring in the next year, then you've got nothing to worry about. If you've got a horizon of longer than a decade to learn to invest and stick with it, then this is a solid time for you to get in. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked or learned anything from this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every Friday when I post helpful biz tips and tricks on helping you gain financial freedom. Also, hit the like button on this video and leave me a comment down below if you've learned anything from this video. You can also find me on Twitter, where I talk about stocks and real estate daily, and you can also now find me on Instagram, where I post more helpful biz tips and tricks in a smaller format as well. Now, in closing, make sure you figure out whether or not your student loans are private or federal, and this is a great time, if you don't already know, to just call in and check on studentaid.gov whether or not your loan can qualify for anything going on right now. Make sure you stay up to date and keep in the loop with your student loan servicing provider for any new updates that occur after this time and during this time. Even if your income is unaffected, you can use this time to think about whether or not you want to supercharge your payments by going ahead and paying more on your student loans or keeping your loans the same amount that you've been paying monthly. If your finances are slipping personally, or you notice that you've been living above your means or living paycheck to paycheck, then consider using a little bit of that money and using that to kickstart your personal finance finances and stay on track. Make sure to use this time as a personal check-in to see whether or not your emergency fund is too small, you've been living above your means and living paycheck to paycheck, or you haven't been giving to your retirement account recently and you need to continue doing so. Use this time wisely and take advantage of the many options that you currently have to be able to keep your life on track or get your life back on track and get on the bandwagon if you haven't already. Stay tuned and make sure you check out the next videos for more updates.